Here we go. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks so
Welcome.
much for coming. Yeah, this is nice and different.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah,
like you were saying that you got tricked into this because somebody said you must just be
yeah,
right.
yeah. So I was just told I must be here at 12 o'clock. Nobody, I think they thought maybe I wouldn't go if I knew what was happening.
What was
But I'm
happening that
here.
you're going to get that you're going to get the haircut.
That is,
Yeah, no, but thank you very much for agreeing.
yeah,
And
no, it's a great
yeah,
pleasure.
tell me, how do you want it? Do you want like
Yeah, just a trim really,
just a
because
trim?
I
Okay.
don't like short hair. So,
Yeah. So
so
basically,
just a trim on the
do
sides,
you want like
a little bit at the back and the
yeah?
top.
So what like do you want me just to
Yeah,
stop it up with the scissors or
yeah, with the
or
scissors, yeah, because
yeah.
this stuff gets a bit thick
Yeah.
and then starts growing
Then it
out,
starts
and I look
growing
like Einstein.
Yeah.
I don't know. So yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, no,
So
I'll definitely
okay.
try my best. I'll definitely try my best.
Give it your best shot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tell me quickly, like especially with your journey. And I mean, like I've got to know you over the years, and I admire what you do in so many aspects. And your whole life, you've been this entrepreneur that just takes bold risks. And you know what stands out is like being able to go into uncharted territories from retail business to
Yeah.
the music business to the beauty industry.
Yeah, big leap.
Big leaps, big leaps.
Yeah,
I mean, like the diversity around it. It reminds me of Sir Richard Branson, where you just make these audacious decisions just to go into this. How did it just come about? Did you just decide that you just want to be in every aspect?
No, it wasn't calculated like that at all.
Yeah.
It was basically, I enjoy, if I look back on it, I enjoy starting something and building a brand rather than running a big company.
Yeah.
So that's never been my thing. So I really enjoy that, the challenge of building something new.
Yes,
And
yes.
so from the early days when I started with retailing, and then I got into that, and then I went into the music business.
Yes.
I ran a record company, and then I went into race relations consulting for about 7 years. I consulted to public company on how to deal with racism in the workplace. I did that
Yes.
for 7 years, and then I went back to retail, sold the company, the Supermart, which was originally Kmart,
Yes, yes.
to the Edcon Group.
Yes.
And they rebranded it Jetmart. So now
Oh, so that's where it comes
and
from.
that's Jetmart. It was originally
Ah.
Kmart in the good old
Kmart,
days,
yeah.
and
Then
they forced us
they
to
forced
change
us
it
to change
to
the name.
Supermart. Yeah,
What?
because the American company Kmart found out that we were using their name.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
And
when we
that's-
started, I didn't know. I was 22 years old, so I didn't know anything about trademarks.
Yes.
And so we just used their name. We thought it was a good name.
Yeah, because it sounded good.
Yeah, so seemed to work well for them. So we
So we might as well just
we decided to use it as well. And then to make matters worse, and to show my true ignorance, we used their logo as well. Yeah.
seriously. So you use the same
We
Kmart
used their
logo?
logo. We used their logo. And then 12 years later, we'd been operating for 12 years when they came with an army of lawyers to
Oh, so they came after you.
They came after us. And our lawyer said, no, we could keep the name because we've been using it.
You've been
for
using it,
12
yeah.
years.
Yeah.
But our lawyers were no match for their
They were match for
these
their-
American acts.
Yeah, because they came with the money, they came with the
Yeah. But there was a funny story actually when they came out with their lawyers.
yeah.
So they needed to go into one of our stores.
Yes.
So there's two white guys with suits.
Yes.
And they walked into one of our Kmart stores in the center of Johannesburg.
Yes.
And in those stores, if you get two white guys, they already stand out like a sore thumb. And then they're wearing jackets and ties, which makes them even more
Which even
stand
make it
out.
more worse.
Yeah, because those, we never saw any white customers
Yes,
in
yes.
the middle of town. So our manager, our black manager there,
Yes.
he sees these guys coming in and he's a bit suspicious.
Yes,
of
yes.
them.
And he's wondering what's happening.
He's wondering what's going on now.
Yes.
And then he sees the one guy taking out a camera
What?
to take pictures.
To take pictures of
the shop.
Of the shop.
Yeah,
Yes,
of
yes,
the-
yes.
yeah. And so then he decides, no ways.
No, something is
I'm
happening
not
here.
going to let this happen. So
Yeah.
he goes there and he says, what are you doing? And the one guy gets a fright. He puts the camera back and he starts running for the door.
Serious?
Yes, yeah. So our manager says, nah, shut the door. We're gonna arrest these guys.
What? Like a whole commotion happening
Yeah.
at the store.
Yeah, he said, no, we're gonna arrest them. They're acting suspicious.
Yes, yes, yes.
And so you can imagine now these two American lawyers
Yeah.
arrested. There's not another white person in sight. They're absolutely crapping themselves. They think this is they came to Africa
They
to
came
die.
to Africa to die.
Yeah. And so the manager phones me up. He says, listen, he says, I got these two white American lawyers
Yeah.
here. And they're acting suspiciously. What should I do? So I said, the first thing is let them go. Because it can only be bad news.
Because it can only be bad
Yeah.
news, especially with white people.
And it turned out to be bad news. Because not only did we lose the case,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we had to change our name,
Change the name as well.
but
yeah.
they also fined us for illegal arrest.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
we had to
yes.
pay another 5,000 rand.
What?
For,
Yes.
yeah, for illegal arrest. So, yeah, so
So
that
that
was
was-
one of the stories of our thing. But anyway,
How old was that business? How old was
yeah, it
was
was
Kmart? Yeah.
it started in 1976.
Yeah.
Just in fact 2 weeks after the uprisings. You know, the uprising was 16th of June,
Yes, yes.
1976,
Yeah.
and this was we opened on the 1st of July, 1976.
Ah.
But just to get back to your question
Yeah.
on the changing of industries,
Yes,
what I
yes.
liked about changing industries is when you come in to
Yeah.
a new industry, you come in with fresh eyes.
Yes, yes.
You're not what I call contaminated
Yeah.
by the conventional
By the
wisdom
conventional wisdom of doing
of that
things.
industry, of
Yeah.
how things are done. They've been doing it for
Yes,
years.
For years, yeah.
You know, people say you can't do this, you don't have experience. You know, I've been involved here for 20 years.
Yeah.
And I say, but 20 years is not necessarily great experience, because
Yeah.
it could be 1 year's experience
That's
repeated
true.
20 times.
That's so true.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Yeah, so I chose not to listen to people in the industry. And the only thing that I found out, particularly when I started Sorbet,
Yeah.
was that there was no beauty salon chains
Yes.
in the whole country
In
at
the whole
the time.
country, yeah.
Nobody had been able to build up a big brand under one name,
Yes.
multiple units.
And especially with that consistency,
Yeah.
because you know, like with beauty, it's always difficult because
Yeah.
nobody actually. It was actually always these independent outlets.
Correct,
That stood out
100%.
much
So,
more, yeah.
so I needed to find out why that wasn't the case. But anyway, I chose to go into something completely new,
Yes.
about which I knew nothing.
Nothing about
Nothing. I knew nothing about it. I always say that I thought a Brazilian was a person who
was a
lived in
person.
Brazil. and Hollywood was a place they made movies. So I knew absolutely nothing. But the thing was, I thought to myself, let's find out why these people can't open more than 2 or 3 stores under one brand.
Yes, especially with the scaling aspect.
Yeah. So I found, I didn't know when I started, but we found out quite soon, after we bought some stores and we rebranded them.
Yeah. So the strategy was always to scale from
scale from day one.
from the beginning.
There was no way I was going to go and stand behind the counter in a beauty salon.
Yes.
That wasn't my vision.
Yeah.
So we thought it was there to build a chain, and then I discovered, as you just said, that the challenge was the consistency
Yes, that's
of
true.
the service. How do you get this consistency of service so that somebody that walks into a salon in Polokwane
Yes,
will get the same service as a salon at the waterfront in Cape Town? You know?
that's true.
So that was the challenge, and then
Yeah.
I realized that the only way you can do that is to build a strong culture
Yeah.
where everybody understands the power of consistency and why we come to work.
And why we
every
come to
day.
work, yeah.
And that was really the
And
key.
that has been the
That
key
was
driver
the
ever
key
since.
to the drive.
But in terms of the training, because I know like, especially with Sorbet's training, the technicians are quite well trained.
Yes.
And I mean like from the beginning, before you started, how was that in the beginning with that first 20 stores?
Yeah, so we were fortunate is that the woman who originally told me to start this business,
Yes.
she was a beauty therapist, and she was a sales manager at one stage of Dermalogica skincare.
Oh.
And she was able to train people.
Nice.
So I was fortunate about that, and she trained them. All the early people were trained by her.
And she's the
Her
one that
name was
convinced you about
Liz Goldberg, yeah.
Yeah.
And so that helped because I didn't. I mean, I couldn't even hold a scissors or pick up a wax pot. I had no idea. I actually deliberately kept away from the treatment side.
From the treatment side, yeah.
I could add no value.
No value to that.
To anybody. I could only just get in the way. So I decided, you know what? This is not my role. Other people must do that.
Other people, yeah.
And my role was to build the culture.
Yes.
And to get people to understand.
I think that's quite interesting because, you know, like the conventional way of doing things is that you take the technician, and from the technician will build from one store.
That's exactly what you did.
Yeah, that's exactly what I've done.
That's your
scale
great
from
story.
one store.
I love your story because that's what you did.
Yeah, but your methodology just switch things around, because now the typical mindset is actually looking at the different view in terms of how to scale a business, and that's different.
Yes. Yeah, no, absolutely. So mostly what happens is when you start a business like yours.
Yes.
Okay, so you start out as a technician, and then you start with small, humble beginnings, and then you build from there, and then look what you've built up now, 70 outlets. I mean, that's unbelievable, fantastic.
Yes.
But what happens is that as you were growing, then the culture starts to take its own sort of shape.
Yes.
And then sometimes when that happens after you've opened, and sometime later, it's quite difficult to reverse those areas that are not working well.
They are not working, that's true.
You see, so that's the thing, to go back and fix it. So that's why I felt right from the beginning that the culture must be 100% right as we start.
As a start, yeah.
So I had my culture from my previous companies. I knew what it was going to look like.
Yeah.
And then I got everybody in. I did the induction training for everyone that ever joined Sorbet.
Yeah.
And that was like 3,500 people.
Sure.
That's
a lot,
over 15 years. Every one of them had
Every one of them was like...
And most of them came at least twice and some 3 times.
Yes.
For refreshers as well. So that was I was absolutely obsessed by getting people to understand why they come there.
Yes.
What is their purpose?
What is their purpose?
What is their objective? What does it mean to deliver great service?
Yeah.
And how do we treat the people so that they work in an environment in which they are comfortable?
Yeah.
And they feel accepted and respected and trusted.
Yes.
And they feel that they are treated with fairness and dignity, etc. Especially given the history of our country.
Yeah.
And the disadvantage that people had over the years. So it was critical. Yeah. And that's why I've always been so interested in race relations.
Yeah.
That's been my thing, because you can't build a business if people do not feel they have a sense of belonging.
Yeah, that's true.
They must belong. If they don't feel that they belong, then why would they go out?
Why would they be, and
serve their customers to the best of their ability? That's
because there's an inferior complex that you find between different races.
Exactly. So, I mean, these people were not coming into work to make money for the shareholders.
Yeah.
That was not their purpose.
That was not the purpose,
sure.
Yeah.
So they had to understand why they were there.
Yeah.
And if they delivered great service, the money would always follow.
Yes.
Because most people, 95% of everyone that works out there, believes they work to make a living.
Yes.
They work to make money.
Yes.
And that is the first mistake
That people make,
they make. Because
Yeah.
you're not there to make a living.
Yeah.
You're there to serve the needs of
to
your
serve
client.
the needs of a customer. But I think that's like quite an interesting way to look at it, because if you look at most businesses, the way they set up, businesses are set up to make profit.
Exactly.
And when they set up to make profit, people won't necessarily be at the forefront, and culture will be last. You understand?
Yes,
so
100%.
so then the hierarchy will be like, you know what, we need to squeeze the most out of the profits and see what margins can we get, and that's where everything is compromised from the people as well at the other end.
Yeah.
So that's quite interesting that mindset was reversed from the beginning with Sorbet.
Yeah, no, right from the beginning. Because I had worked out over the years in my various businesses beforehand that in order to get people to deliver great service, they had to understand why they were doing it. And then we had to make them feel comfortable and happy in their environment. And then the money always follows when you do that.
Yes.
But if you're chasing the money and you're squeezing the profits, you will put people under pressure to do more treatments, to do more haircuts, whatever it is.
Yes.
And then you start to forget about the quality, and you're only doing it to do the volume.
You
want the volume. You don't want the quality. The problem is that as you start doing more volume, the quality starts to decrease, and then people don't come back.
People don't come back, and then you don't have.
And your business goes one way.
That's so true. That's also so true.
So
how important is that factor? Because you find that with a customer-centric approach as business scale, especially small businesses, because you know, like when you're starting out your business and you're growing it, and you are there, you're constantly there, you're working on your business, your customer is happy, but as soon as you let go and you let other people handle your business, then you start seeing the changes.
Exactly, that's the thing. So everybody must buy into the philosophy.
Yes.
That's why, you know, the franchisees, the support staff, everybody, even the lady who made the tea and cleaned the offices, she had to be in those workshops to understand that everybody has a role to play when it comes to serving.
Yes.
So I would ask that lady, I say, now why do you come to work?
Yes.
And she'd say straight away, now I have to feed my family.
Yes.
So that's why I'm here. But I said, no, that's not why you're here.
Yeah.
You are here to keep the place clean and tidy, and to serve refreshments so that other people can do their job properly.
Yes.
So you have come to serve them.
Yeah.
They are serving other people. And then in the salons, we're serving the customers. So everybody, we call it people serving the people who are serving the people.
I like that.
Yeah, so we serve everybody.
So in terms of the servant leadership approach, because I know that you're quite big on servant leadership, and servant leadership has been something that you've been preaching for
a long time.
For a long time, and I think just the way you love your life is basically a testimony of being the type of servant leader that would want to serve other people. How important is that, especially in this day and age? Because if you look at today's day and age, everyone wants to be the boss.
Yeah, that's right.
Everyone wants to be the person that is commanding the shots, that's saying what to do, but nobody wants to get on the floor and actually scrub the floors.
Right, exactly.
And sweep the floors.
And there's a level of entitlement, especially amongst young people. They come in, you know, and they want their pound of flesh. They want the money.
Yes.
They look forward to the payday every day so they can go and spend their money. But they don't realize that they have to serve first. You know, service must always come before reward.
Yeah.
Money is the reward. It's not the purpose.
It's not a purpose. Yeah.
It's not the reason we are doing it.
Yeah.
It's the reward for what we do. And if we do it well, we'll be rewarded well. And our customers will come back and they'll become loyal and they'll keep coming back over the years.
Yeah.
So that's really what the ultimate objective is, to create loyalty in your customer base.
Customer base, yeah.
That's the key. And people realize that, and then they know that if my customer is going to keep coming back, then I'm going to be doing well with my commission and my everything else.
Yeah.
And that's how there was one woman in our Clear Water Mall outlet.
Yes.
that earned, or that, I mean, her turnover was over 2 million rand in 1 year.
What?
Yeah, 2 million.
What?
That's between treatments and retail
Yes,
products.
yes.
And about
That's
another,
just one person.
One person, and about another 20 of them were over 1 million rand.
What?
So these people were earning 45 to 50,000 rand
A month.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you can imagine it's like
and you ask them why, and they say just because I deliver the great service.
the great service, yeah.
And I do it with a good attitude as well.
Yes.
I'm not just technically good.
Yes.
I deliver the attitude as well. So that when people come here, they come and talk to me. There was one. Listen to this story. Can I tell you a story?
Yeah.
So there was one woman that we were friendly with on the personal level.
Yes.
That used to be a very loyal Sorbet fan.
Yes.
Call them Sorbies.
Yes, like a customer.
Customer. So one day, several 10, 12 years ago, she was diagnosed with melanoma cancer.
Oh, shame, man.
Yeah, and it was a hectic thing. She got it behind the eye.
What?
And she lost one of her eyes.
Oh, that's
hectic,
crazy. Yeah.
But and she was a very loyal
customer.
Fan of customer.
Yes.
So she had all the treatment, and then after a while she went into remission. They managed to get rid of the cancer.
Yes.
But then she had to do her checkups every 6 months.
Yes.
But she was very, very loyal to this one Sorbet store in Oaklands there in Johannesburg.
Yes.
And there was one particular woman that was her nail technician.
Yes.
Her name was Kenzie.
Yes.
So one day she comes along and she says, I've just been for my 6 monthly checkup and the doctor's not happy. He says, I've got to come back for a full scan on Friday.
Yeah.
And she was very anxious that the cancer had returned.
Wow, shame, man.
So Kenzie was listening, and then she called all of the staff to come and stand around this woman. Her name was Bev.
Yes.
To stand around Bev and to say a prayer for her.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, and that she would be okay.
Yes.
Anyway, so comes the Friday, she goes for her PET scan, and when she comes out, they tell her, it was a bit of a false alarm. Those spots we saw are actually nothing. There's nothing to worry about.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So the first thing that she says when she comes out of the scan to her husband, the husband's there, she says, listen, on your way home, I want you to go past Sorbet in Oakland.
Yes.
And you go in and find Kenzie.
Yes.
And you tell Kenzie that Bev is okay.
Wow.
And she doesn't need to worry anymore.
Wow.
And I thought to myself, well, man, I'd never heard a story like that. The
Wow.
first person she wanted to know was her nail technician.
Was a nail technician.
That's how close they were.
That's like
even before her sister.
Yeah. Imagine.
Yeah.
And that's the type of bond that you build with people over
Yes.
over these years.
And then when I heard that story, I was so taken by that story that I asked all the stores, please send in your stories, your customer relationship stories.
Yes.
And they came flooding in, and that's where I wrote the second book called The Soul of Sorbet.
The Soul of Sorbet, yeah. Okay, so it was based on that, yeah.
Based on that stuff.
What? That's amazing. That's amazing. Tell me, do you think in terms of that personal relationship, because I know like one of the threats that people always fear, especially in our beauty industry, is that you know what, I'm going to take your therapist and I'm going to the therapist is going to follow the customers to my store. You understand? There's always this thing that's happening, especially in the beauty space.
Yes. Yeah. So that's also, it's always a challenge. But the question there is to actually find out not why people are leaving, but why they're not staying.
Yes.
Why are they not staying? Why haven't you created an environment for them and a salary package and remuneration for them that makes them want to stay instead of want to go?
Yeah.
That was always our attitude.
Yeah.
If somebody wants to leave, let's find out why they don't want to stay.
First and foremost, and let's get to the bottom of it, because you don't want people to leave your organization because
Yes,
because you
yeah.
spend so much money not only on training and developing them,
Yeah.
but obviously them being part of the whole ecosystem of
Yes.
the brand
Yeah,
itself.
yeah. But, and it did happen a couple of times to us, but when it happened, because the brand became so strong,
Yeah,
it some people may have left and followed that therapist,
yeah.
but they came back
They came back
because
eventually.
they missed the overall service
Service, yeah,
and the loyalty program and all the other things that we offered
yeah.
that they couldn't get from these little independent people who
People,
left us
yeah.
and started their own business.
Yeah, I think that's
So
one of the things that people forget. Yeah,
yeah. So people always, one of the things I was warned against, when I started in the beauty industry was this
yeah.
thing.
Well, this,
Is
yes,
that you mustn't allow the relationships become so strong that people are sort of closer to the therapist than to the brand.
yeah,
And so we made it a point that the brand was always the first thing.
the first thing. Yeah,
And the therapist was the second one. So that if somebody came in to have a cut or a facial or whatever, they would then feel comfortable to go to any of the staff.
yeah,
Not always the same one.
yeah.
So that was the consistency that was so important.
That was so important. Yes,
And when some people did leave, and we then moved on, the customer, we call them the guest.
yes.
When we moved the guest on to another therapist,
then
more
it just-
often than not, they would say, no, this one was just as good, maybe
Yeah,
even better.
better than-
Yeah, that's right. So we didn't find that it was a dramatic loss.
Yeah, from that.
Yeah, from that. Yeah.
Tell me in terms of building a brand, because brand building is always one of the key things that people talk about.
Yeah.
But we always say like it takes so many years to build a brand, and it takes a few couple of negative reviews to destroy it. How important is brand building?
Yeah, brand building is huge, and then brand protection is also
Yes.
huge. So I was very fortunate there. My one daughter, Jade, Jade and my younger one, Courtney, they were working in the marketing and the branding.
Yes.
And they just were absolutely obsessed about building the brand. So
that's amazing.
Whenever there was a complaint, we would deal with it. We would do things that most other salons would never do.
Yes.
We would refund people. We would do anything to keep them.
To keep them, yeah.
To keep them loyal rather than
let them go.
Let them go, yeah.
Let them go, yeah.
So it was, brand building is obviously huge. And people say, but what a great name, Sorbet. I said it was not a great name. It was actually a stupid name because everyone thought it was an ice cream.
Everyone thought it was ice cream.
Yeah. It was a stupid name.
Yeah.
And I learned something from that message.
Yeah.
Is that the name does not build a business.
Yeah.
The business builds the name.
Builds the name, yes.
Once Sorbet had 220 outlets, then everyone said, what a great name.
Yes.
But it was never a name.
It was never the
wasn't
name.
a good
It
name.
was never the
I
name.
struggled with that name
Yeah.
because, even though I chose it from a list of names,
Yes.
and I liked the name,
Yeah.
it was difficult for us to go into a shopping center and say we want to open. They said, no, we've already got Milky Lane and other ice cream stores here. We don't need another one.
We don't need
And
another.
they said, no, this is a beauty salon. What?
Totally different. Totally different.
Totally
different. And I think that's that's so important because you say like it's not a name that builds a brand, but it's the brand that actually builds the name.
It builds the name. It's the business builds the name because the service is what builds the name.
Yeah.
If you have great service, then the name sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
There's another beauty salon called Toast & Co. I don't know if you've heard
Toast
of them.
& Co. I don't know.
It's called Toast & Co.
Yeah, I don't know Toast & Co.
Yeah, they got 3 stores.
Yes.
They're doing quite well.
Yeah.
But that's an even more strange name than Sorbet.
It's like you're going for toast.
Toast seems like a coffee shop.
And then tell me, so now Sorbet is growing, and then we decide, okay, from being able just to have the nail bar, the beauty, but now we're also looking at at getting like basically scaling out into other markets like Candy and Co. And I mean
Yes.
like with Candice as well being
Yes.
part of it. How did that come about? Because you know, like especially with diversifying and looking at growing the market.
Yeah. So interestingly, we were so busy building the Sorbet beauty salon brand and the nail sort of bars and the nail business that
Yes.
we really didn't, we knew there were opportunities in other fields, but we just didn't have either the time or the resources to go and start, because you're building new businesses, it's very difficult.
Yes.
New brands. So,
Yes.
So we were fortunate that in the case of Candice and Candy and Co., and then also from the dry bars that we had,
Yes.
and Sorbet Man,
Yes.
we had people approach us
Yes.
to say, I want to start this business, will you back it?
Oh.
You see, so that's what Candice did. She started Candy and Co. We just became a partner with her.
Are you serious? So it wasn't like...
Yeah, I mean, I didn't call her in and say, listen, we want to
yes,
start.
yes.
She came to me.
She came,
She said, I've got this idea, I want to
What?
build this hair business called Candy
Yes,
and Co.
yes, yes.
And
that's how it came about.
That's how it came about. And the same thing with Sorbet Man.
Sorbet Man as well, yeah.
Yeah, there was a guy by the name of Fred Withers.
Yes,
Now,
yes.
before Fred joined us, he was the MD of Exclusive Books.
Okay.
And he left then, and then he came to me and said, listen, I've got this idea of starting a man's hair business.
Yes.
And I thought, okay, well, we can call it Sorbet Man.
Yes.
But then they said, no. They didn't want to call it Sorbet Man. This is also an interesting
Serious?
story.
Yeah.
And the reason they said no was because most people thought that because Sorbet was a female brand, that men would not be able to relate.
Yes.
They wouldn't relate to
Yes.
it. You see.
Yes.
So I was convinced by them. And
Yes.
everyone convinced me. Okay, so we started thinking of names.
Of names, yes.
And then we settled on one name. It was called Manifesto.
Manifesto, okay.
Yeah, Manifesto. That was the name.
It sounds like a movement.
Yes.
It sounds like a political party.
Exactly. But then I was very fortunate. I have a very good friend who's been in market. He's one of the marketing sort of gurus.
Yes.
In South Africa.
Yes.
His name is Reg Lascaris.
Okay.
Yeah, from Hunt Lascaris.
Okay, nice.
A huge advertising agency.
Yes.
And he's a very close friend. So I went to him. I said, listen, you got to help me here. Because I've got this name issue.
Yes.
We want to start a male version of Sorbet.
Sorbet, yes.
And everyone's telling me that I must go for this manifesto and not call it Sorbet Man. So he said, okay, let's discuss this. He said, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
All right? So he says, how long did it take you to build the Sorbet brand?
Yes.
So I said, about 10 years before it really became
Before it really...
He says, do you want to do that again?
Yeah.
Or do you want to take the Sorbet name and just extend it?
Yeah.
He says, don't even think about another name. Just call it Sorbet Man.
Yes.
And it was the best decision we ever made.
Yeah.
Because no men ever said, no, I'm not going to go there.
Yeah.
Because it's a female
Because it's a
brand.
female, yes.
And obviously we made the stores look like a more sort of masculine type of environment. And it was never a problem.
It was never a problem afterwards.
From day one,
Because I think that's basically an add-on to...
Yeah, and it just enhanced the Sorbet name.
Just enhances the Sorbet name.
Yeah.
And because I think that's quite interesting because most of the time when people want to extend the services, they start coming up with these different names.
Yes.
And it takes you so long to build one brand. Now you need to build another brand in order for that brand to be sustainable.
And in fact, if we take the example of Candy and Co.
Yes.
In hindsight, it would have been easier to give it a different name, Sorbet something.
Yes, that's true.
Because we tried to build that brand from scratch, and it also took a long time.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. You build something from scratch, you must know you're in for the long haul.
Yeah, that's so true.
It doesn't matter how good you are and what the thing. Every business takes time.
And I think that's the thing because like a lot of young people walk up to me and say, they want to what is the fastest way for me to scale my business like you do?
Yeah.
Or what is the quickest way? Please, can you give me just few secrets as to
Your answer should be the quickest way to build your business is to slow down.
is to slow down, yes.
That's what you should say to them. Slow down, build your business properly,
Yeah.
and then when it's right, you can start scaling it.
But I think that's a thing that most people don't understand, because like in the Bible I read this verse in Proverbs, and it says basically the one that makes hasty decisions
Yes.
actually goes into poverty, but the one that is disciplined and consistent actually leads to prosperity.
Very true. Very true.
And that's exactly to the point of taking your time and letting it be.
So that's what happened to us, particularly on the franchising side. So we were very keen to franchise early on.
Yes.
And some businesses go out and they start franchising even before they've built their own business model. So, which is really dangerous, and it causes a lot of problems. So we thought, okay, we'll build 4 or 5 stores, and we'll get those businesses right, and we'll build a nice business model, and then we'll franchise. But
it wasn't the case.
But that was the dream.
Yes.
Yeah, the dream was not the reality.
Yeah, that's true.
So after 5 stores, we tried to franchise, nothing.
Nothing happened.
Couldn't get a bite.
What?
Nothing. Not one person.
What?
We went to one of these expos,
Yes.
franchising expos, and we stood outside this little kiosk, this little stand there,
Yeah.
We had all these lovely banners like this one behind us.
Yeah.
And we had the nice little handouts, and we were doing our thing.
Yes.
And people were looking at me very strangely.
Yeah.
What are you doing in this kind of business? They thought I was there just to come for the young girls. Maybe I was a trafficker or something. Take them off to Thailand somewhere. And so nobody came near.
Nobody could,
They wouldn't come near. They kept a wide berth, and they left us. We didn't get one person that showed interest in 3 days.
What?
Nothing. We almost had to beg somebody to put his name.
What?
They ran away from us. So
It was like
that didn't work so well.
That didn't work so well, yeah.
So we decided, okay, let's leave this
Yeah.
and let's just build this business on our own.
Wow.
Until such time as we have a proper model that people can believe in and they can trust in, and that we start from. And that took us 4.5 years.
Sure.
And 22 company stores
Later,
before we got our first franchise.
Yeah.
So
And I think
that
was the most difficult part of
Yeah,
everything, because you're burning capital each and every month.
And it was my own money I was putting in every month.
Yes.
It was hard.
Yeah.
I used to question my sanity 2 or 3 times a day. How stupid can you be?
How stupid can you be?
You're just putting this money in every single month, and nothing is happening.
But that's the thing about entrepreneurship, because because we spoke about it the other day with regarding the settlers and the people that actually, and the pioneers as well, because the pioneers, they actually go along this path. They don't know where they're going to. They're actually creating the map.
Right, exactly. That's 100% right.
Yeah.
100% right. The pioneers create the map.
Yes.
And they go into the uncharted territory.
Yes.
And they face all the dangers, and they pay the heavy price.
Yes.
But eventually, when they get there, then they can sell the map.
And then they can sell the map to
the other guys to follow. We call them the settlers. They come afterwards. When you have found the promised land, they then arrive in big numbers.
But I think for many people, especially going through that stage, it seems like it's never coming to pass. And I mean, like, for you, it maybe took 4 years. For somebody else, it's taking longer. And nobody's journey is actually is exactly the number of years that you should actually follow, because there's no roadmap. There's there's no, especially in entrepreneurship, like many people think that, you know what, I have to follow 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then I'm going to get here and I'm going to be A4 away.
Yeah.
But it's not the case.
Yeah. Now, there are certain characteristics that you need as an entrepreneur to go out there and start these things.
Yeah.
One is you cannot be afraid to fail.
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as you're afraid to fail, you'll never do what you should be doing.
Yes.
Because you're always going to worry about what happens if this doesn't work.
Yes.
So you go out there and you do what you have to do. The other one is you need intuition.
Yes.
Intuition means that you know that it's right, even though you don't have the evidence to prove it.
To prove it, yes, that's so true. And nobody believes in you.
No one believes
No
in
one
you.
believes
Everyone
in you.
thinks
It's
that you've
like-
lost your mind. I
Yes.
remember one person
Yes.
asking me if I could remember the exact moment when I lost my mind. Because everyone thought I was completely crazy to do this.
Yeah, everyone is looking at you and thinking, no, this guy must have been.
Even my own family, when I started Sorbet, they thought they wanted to take me to
a mental
psychologist to check me out. What is an old man? I was 51 years old.
51 years old.
51, I'm now going to start a beauty business. And with this face, this is not a face
This is not
for
a
the
face for
beauty
beauty.
industry. No. I thought a complete idiot. What are you going to do?
What
with
do you
this
think you're
guy?
doing? Yeah, so
And
you
then
said
when I went to the
it's
banks,
intuition, yes.
when I went to the bank
Yes,
to ask them for money,
Yeah,
I mean, they had to hide the laughter. They wanted to laugh at me.
Yeah.
And they said,
no, something is
sorry,
wrong.
can't help you here.
Serious.
What do you know about the beauty industry? Nothing.
Yeah.
Then why are you doing this?
Yeah,
Because I think it's a good idea.
a good
Yeah,
idea won't cut
sorry,
it.
Sorry.
Wow.
Sorry. You showed me the door.
Wow,
Yeah,
wow,
no,
that's crazy. That's crazy. That's so crazy.
It's hard.
Yeah, yeah.
Very hard.
You see, but imagine like you're starting a business at 51 years old. It's like,
Yeah.
like many people don't even think about it.
Yeah, I know. And even when I sold Sorbet, I started a new business at 66.
66.
Yeah, this hatch.
This hatch, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
People say, why don't you retire now? So
Yeah.
I said, I'll retire just for an afternoon nap. and then I'll carry on because I can't sit still. What must I do? I need to keep doing.
You need to do something.
Keep my mind stimulated. Yeah. So anyway.
But that's so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think like just in closing, if you can just share like few lessons, like one or few lessons for anyone out there that's just trying to get through life and maybe they face some challenges along the way and they're looking that there's no hope. If you can maybe just share a couple of words of advice for them.
Yeah, I think, I mean, there's lots of lessons I learned along the way, but the one is probably the most important one I ever learned was that the purpose of work is to serve.
Yeah.
And so if you, and that's not just in business, that's in life as well. you know.
Yes.
If you give more than you take,
Yeah.
you are likely to be successful in business and in life.
And in life,
Yeah. But if you take more than you give,
Yes.
it's the other way around.
Yes.
Then failure is almost guaranteed.
Yeah.
So it's the whole thing is that we must be serving people. We must help, we must assist, we must serve. We must give up our time to help people. And so if you do that, then you can win because you get the returns, the rewards. But if you're just going there chasing the money all the
Chasing
time,
money, yeah.
then you got no chance.
I mean, everyone is chasing money out here.
Yeah. I mean, 80 to 85% of all startup businesses fail.
Fail, yeah.
And most of them, because they're just chasing the money.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
know, someone will go into business and they'll do some turnover in the first 6 months. The first thing they do is go and buy a fancy car.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they've got
that's
money
true.
now, they buy a car, and then they drive around for a couple of weeks, and then the business goes out of business.
And then it's out of
And
business.
that's it. And then the
and
car
that's it.
goes as well.
And that's
And
it.
then everything goes.
And everything goes.
Yeah,
And
that's
everything
it. And
goes.
it's all finished.
and everything goes now. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Last words. What do you want to be remembered by? And I think it's so evident in what you say. I mean, that the servant leader that you are. What is the one thing that people want to remember Ian Fuhr by?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I think I'd like to be remembered as a person who tried to make a contribution to other people's lives. That's really trying to make a contribution to other people's lives instead of always focusing on your own life. That would be the thing that I would like to see.
And I think that's so evident in what you do, in the type of person that you are. And I think from my side, I really do appreciate you as a mentor, as someone that I admire for years and years, and just to see what you've been doing. It's truly inspirational to have seen how you've grown on the journey of Sorbet and being able to do what many people thought was impossible and doing the impossible. And thank you very much for inspiring myself and many other entrepreneurs out there.
Thank you, and you've been inspiring me, I must tell you, because you're building a fantastic business here. But I'd just like to finish off, last sentence, is a quotation from Nelson Mandela.
Yes.
He said, "The only journey that is impossible is the one that never begins."
Wow, 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 wow. Wow, that's powerful.
That's powerful.
That's
I
really
love that.
powerful.
The only journey that is impossible
is the one that never begins. Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And that was a good haircut. Thank you.
I hope you like it.
Yes. In fact, my wife, you can cut this now. But my wife asked me, please can I have
have the eyebrows? Okay. Come and do the eyebrows quickly.
She said, don't come home with those eyebrows. The eyebrows are hanging over my eyes.
Come and do the eyebrows quickly.
Thank you.
She's like, we have to do the eyebrows.
Yeah, no, she said yes. When she told me about waxing my ears,
are you serious?
She also said, you can't live like that.
And she's also in the beauty industry.
Yeah,
so
no, she's in there. So I went to have my ears waxed, and I'm still recovering from that. This is one of the most painful things I've ever had in my life. Every time I have to go back to have like I can't sleep for 3 nights before. Terrible. Hey.
Yeah, the things that we have to live with. But just, is that short enough?
I don't know.
I hope she likes it.
No, she'll tell you.
She'll be able to give
me.
She'll
find me. Yeah, no, I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
No problem. I really enjoyed this. I really did enjoy this.
Me too.